We have become familiar with various kinds of devices used for networking computers. Now, let us see how a computer in a network can communicate with another. Since there are several computers, how can each be identified? Computers in a network will have unique numbers like house numbers. This number is called IP address. There are some general rules or protocols for giving such numbers. When computers and networks became widely used, it became necessary to have norms for computer addresses and methods for exchanging information between computers. The equipment connected to a network need to follow certain norms with regard to naming and exchanging information. Such norms are called protocols. TCP/IP, SSH, SMB, POP, etc. are such protocols. IP address. IP address is given to a computer in a network based on the TCP/IP protocol. Transmission Control Protocol / Internet Protocol. IPv4 and IPv6 are the protocols currently in use. An address of length 32-bit is given to the computer as per IPv4. It has 4 parts of the size of 8 bits each separated by a dot. For example, 192.168.1.120. But the address given as per IPv6 is of the size of 128 bits. Hope you have understood that each computer in a network needs to have an IP address. Let us see how this can be determined. Determining IP address. There is an icon related to networking on the upper panel of the computer screen. It is known as the NM applet or Network Manager applet. How can we find out the IP address of computer using this applet? Click NM applet and select Connection Information, or click on System Tools option from Application menu and then select Administration Network option. Find out the IP addresses of all the computers in a network. Now switch off all the computers and the network. After that, switch on the computers in a different order. Now, find out the IP addresses of all the computers once again. The IP address of some computers have changed. This means that a computer doesn't have a constant IP address in the network. That is, each time when a system is connected to a network, it gets an IP address. The technology that gives an IP address automatically is known as Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol or DHCP. Structure of the IP address. IP addresses under IPv4 have 4 parts. The first 3 parts are the same in all addresses. Suppose the IP address of a computer is 192.168.1.25. The common part 192.168.1 refers to the network, and the changing part 25 refers to the computer. Giving a permanent IP address. You must have understood that the IP address which a computer gets automatically is not constant. How can we give a permanent IP address to a computer functioning in a network? For that, click NM applet and select Edit Connections. Edit Connection window appears. Here, we can give any number from 2 to 254 instead of 10. Numbers 0, 1 and 255 are reserved for some specific technological purpose. All the computers can be given permanent IP addresses by retaining the first 3 parts, here 192.168.1, and changing only the last part, here .10. Also give the same values for netmask, gateway and DNS server. Give a connection from modem or router to the switch using a network cable. Then check whether the computers connected to the switch are also connected to the internet. Now we have shared internet with all the computers. Exchanging files. To copy a file to a computer from another computer. What are the details required? File name, the place where the file is kept, the IP address of the computer in which the file is kept, its username and password. After collecting all the informations, click on Places menu, then select Connect to Server option. Enter the IP address of the computer in which the file is kept. Click the Connect button. Enter the username and password of the computer to which connection has to be made. The file system of the other computer appeared in the monitor. Now we can find the required file from the home page and copy it. We have learned how to exchange files between computers in a network. Now let us see how we can share related devices like printers and scanners. Printing over the network. In order to print over the network, the printer has to be configured first accordingly. Activate the network. From the system tools in the computer that is connected to the printer, open System Settings, Printers. Click Server Settings. In the window that appears, select Publish Shared Printers connected to this system and click OK. After restarting the computers, open the printers window. The shared printer could be seen in all the computers. Now we can print from any computer in the network. Other devices can also be shared over the network similarly. We are now familiar with some of the network facilities. Find out how networking makes it more convenient to use the devices attached to the computer.